Difficult times are like uninvited guests. They show up at your doorstep without warning, and they don't care if you're ready for them or not. But here's the thing, it's not about whether difficulties come knocking, it's about how you answer the door. Let me tell you something profound. Life is not about avoiding difficulties, it's about developing the strength to face them head on. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. That's what we're here to learn today, how to adjust our sails when the storms of life hit us. Now, the first step in handling difficult times is to change your perspective. Most people look at difficulties and see nothing but problems. But successful people, they look at the same situation and see opportunities. It's like the old saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But I'll take it a step further. When life gives you lemons, make a lemonade stand and turn it into a business. You see, difficulties are not sent to destroy you. They're sent to promote you, to increase you, to strengthen you. They're like weights in a gym. Sure, they're heavy and uncomfortable, but that's exactly what makes you stronger. The question is, are you going to complain about the weight or are you going to lift it and grow? Let me share a little secret with you. The size of the difficulty doesn't matter nearly as much as your attitude towards it. I've seen people crumble under the tiniest setback, and I've seen others triumph over seemingly insurmountable odds. The difference, it's all in the mindset. You've got to understand this. Your life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens to you. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not the circumstances that shape your life, it's your reaction to those circumstances. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Jim, that sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's break it down into actionable steps. The first step is to take responsibility. And I mean full 100% responsibility for your life. No blame, no excuses, no justifications. You see, as long as you're blaming others for your difficulties, you're giving away your power to change the situation. You're saying, I'm just a victim of circumstances, but the moment you take responsibility, you're saying, I have the power to change this. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a young man who had lost his job, his savings, and was on the verge of losing his home. He was in a pretty tough spot. Now, he could have easily blamed the economy, his former employer, or just bad luck. But you know what he did instead? He looked in the mirror and said, I got myself into this mess and I'm going to get myself out of it. And guess what? Within a year, he had not only found a new job, but had started a side business that eventually became his full-time career. That's the power of taking responsibility. The second step in handling difficult times is to focus on solutions, not problems. You see, where focus goes, energy flows. If you're constantly focusing on how bad things are, guess what? They're going to keep feeling bad. But if you shift your focus to finding solutions, you'll be amazed at how quickly things can turn around. Here's a little exercise I want you to try. The next time you're faced with a difficulty, take out a piece of paper. On one side, write down the problem. On the other side, write down at least 3 possible solutions. Force yourself to come up with solutions, even if they seem far-fetched at first. You'll be surprised at how this simple act can shift your mindset from helplessness to empowerment. Now let's talk about the third step, continuous learning and growth. You see, difficulties are often a sign that we've outgrown our current level of skills or knowledge. They're life's way of saying, hey, it's time to level up. I always say, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. That's the key to hand difficult times. Instead of hoping for easier circumstances, focus on becoming a stronger, more skilled, more resilient person. Read books, attend seminars, seek out mentors, make it your mission to grow a little bit every single day. Let me share another secret with you. The person you become in the process of overcoming difficulties is often more valuable than whatever you achieve by overcoming them. It's not just about getting through the tough times, it's about who you become in the process. Now, I can see some of you nodding your heads, but I also see some skeptical faces out there. You might be thinking, Jim, this all sounds great, but you don't know my situation. My difficulties are really tough, and you're right, I don't know your specific situation. But I do know this, the human spirit is incredibly resilient. You are capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. Let me tell you about a woman I met at one of my seminars. She had been diagnosed with a serious illness, lost her job, and was going through a divorce all within the span of a few months. Talk about difficult times, right? But you know what she did? She decided to use this period of her life as a catalyst for transformation. She started a support group for others going through similar challenges, which eventually led to her writing a book and becoming a motivational speaker herself. Today, she says those difficult times were the best thing that ever happened to her because they forced her to discover strengths she never knew she had. That's the power of reframing your difficulties. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to become a better, stronger person? Now, let's talk about the fourth step in handling difficult times, maintaining a positive attitude. And I'm not talking about some fluffy, feel-good positivity. I'm talking about a deep-rooted, unshakable belief that you can and will overcome whatever challenges you're facing. You see, your attitude is like the thermostat in your home. It sets the temperature for everything else. If your attitude is set to negative, everything in your life will cool down to match it. But if you set it to positive, you'll start to see opportunities and solutions where before you only saw problems. Here's a little technique I use to maintain a positive attitude, even in the toughest times. Every morning before I start my day, I take a few minutes to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee or as profound as a loving family. The point is to train your mind to look for the good, even when things seem bad. You see, gratitude is like a magnet for miracles. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more things you'll have to be grateful for. It's one of those paradoxes of life that doesn't make logical sense, but it works every single time. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Jim, how can I be grateful when everything seems to be falling apart? Well, let me ask you this, are you breathing? Do you have a roof over your head? Did you eat today? If you answered yes to any of these, you have something to be grateful for. Start there and watch how your perspective begins to shift. The 5th step in handling difficult times is to surround yourself with the right people. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely true. In difficult times, you need people who will lift you up, not drag you down. You need people who will challenge you to be better, not enable your excuses. You need people who believe in you, especially when you're struggling to believe in yourself. Take a good, hard look at your inner circle. Are these people pushing you to grow, or are they keeping you stuck? Are they feeding your fears or fueling your dreams? Remember, you can't soar with the eagles if you're scratching with the turkeys. Now, I'm not saying you should abandon your friends who are going through tough times. Not at all. But you need to be intentional about seeking out people who inspire you, who challenge you, who make you want to be a better person. Join a mastermind group. Find a mentor. Attend networking events in your industry. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. Their success will rub off on you, and their mindset will inspire you to push through your own difficulties. Let's move on to the 6th step, taking massive action. You see, knowledge without action is like having a Ferrari in your garage but never driving it. It looks impressive, but it's not getting you anywhere. When you're facing difficulties, it's easy to get paralyzed by fear or overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenge. But here's the truth, action cures fear. The more you do, the less you fear. Start small if you have to, but start. Take one tiny step towards solving your problem. Then take another. And another. Before you know it, you'll have built momentum, and that momentum will carry you through the toughest times. Remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something, anything, to move forward. As the saying goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Now, let me share a personal story with you. When I first started out in business, I faced a lot of setbacks. I had more month at the end of my money than money at the end of my month, if you know what I mean. But instead of giving up, I decided to take massive action. I started working longer hours, attending every seminar I could afford, reading every book one could get my hands on. I was relentless in my pursuit of success. And you know what? It paid off. Not overnight, mind you. Success is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. But by consistently taking action, even when I didn't feel like it, even when the results weren't immediate, I was able to turn my situation around. That brings us to the 7th step in handling difficult times, patience and persistence. You see, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, but they vastly underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Difficult times don't last forever, but you've got to have the patience to see it through. It's like planting a tree. You don't plant the seed one day and expect to sit in the shade the next. It takes time, nurturing, and consistent care. But here's the beautiful thing about patience and persistence. They compound. Every small effort you make, every step forward, no matter how tiny, adds up over time. It's like interest in a bank account. At first you might not see much growth, but if you keep at it, eventually you'll reach a tipping point where your growth becomes exponential. Now, I know patience isn't easy, especially when you're in the thick of difficult times. But remember this, the difficult times you're going through today are preparing you for the incredible opportunities of tomorrow. Your struggles are not punishments, they're preparations. Let's talk about the 8th step, maintaining your physical and mental health. You see, when times get tough, it's easy to neglect ourselves. We stop exercising, we eat junk food, we don't get enough sleep. But that's like trying to drive a car with no gas and a dead battery. It just doesn't work. Your body and mind are your most valuable assets. You've got to take care of them, especially during difficult times. Exercise regularly, even if it's just a 30-minute walk every day. Eat nutritious foods that fuel your body and brain. Get enough sleep. Your problems will still be there in the morning, but you'll be much better equipped to handle them after a good night's rest. And don't forget about your mental health. Meditate, practice mindfulness, or just take a few minutes each day for quiet reflection. Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Give it the space and care it needs to function at its best. Now, let's move on to the 9th step, setting clear goals. You see, difficulties often make us lose sight of where we're going. We get so caught up in the day-to-day struggles that we forget about our long-term vision. But here's the thing, without a clear destination, any road will take you there. You need to have a crystal clear picture of where you want to go, especially when times are tough. Your goals act like a lighthouse, guiding you through the storm. Take some time to write down your goals, be specific. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I want to increase my income by 20% in the next 12 months. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, say, I want to lose 15 pounds and run a 5,000 by the end of this year. And here's a little secret, write your goals down by hand. There's something powerful about the act of putting pen to paper. It makes your goals more real, more tangible. Keep these written goals somewhere you can see them every day. Let them be a constant reminder of what you're working toward, especially when times get tough. The 10th step in handling difficult times is to embrace change. You see, often the difficulties we face are a result of our resistance to change. We get comfortable in our routines, even if they're not serving us well, and we resist anything that disrupts that comfort. But here's the truth. Change is the only constant in life. The world is evolving at a rapid pace, and if we're not changing with it, we're falling behind. Difficult times are often life's way of pushing us out of our comfort zone and into growth. Instead of resisting change, learn to embrace it. See it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. Ask yourself, how can this change make me better? What new skills can I learn? What new opportunities might this open up for me? Remember, it's not the strongest or the most intelligent who survive, but those who are most adaptable to change. Be like water, fluid, flexible, able to adapt to any container it's poured into. Now let's talk about the 11th step, practicing forgiveness. This might seem odd in a discussion about handling difficult times, but bear with me. You see, often the difficulties we face are compounded by the grudges we hold against others, against circumstances, even against ourselves. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what happened to you. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. It's about choosing peace over conflict, freedom over bondage. And here's the thing, forgiveness isn't just for the other person, it's for you. When you hold on to anger and resentment, you're the one who suffers. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It just doesn't work that way. Practice forgiveness for others and for yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made. Forgive others for the wrongs they've done to you. Let go of the past so you can fully embrace the present and the future. Finally, let's talk about the 12th and perhaps most important step, maintaining faith and hope. You see, hope is the fuel that keeps us going when times get tough. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, the belief that better days are coming. Now, I'm not talking about blind optimism or wishful thinking. I'm talking about a deep-rooted faith in yourself and in the process of life. A belief that no matter how dark things seem right now, the sun will rise again. Cultivate hope like you would tend a garden. Feed it with positive thoughts, water it with gratitude, protect it from the weeds of negativity and doubt. Let it be the force that drives you forward even when you can't see the path ahead clearly. Remember, every great success story is a story of overcoming difficulties. Every hero's journey involves facing and conquering challenges. Your difficult times are not the end of your story. They're just the exciting plot twists that make your story worth telling. Now, let's bring all of these steps together. Handling difficult times isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about developing the strength, wisdom, and resilience to face them head on. It's about taking responsibility for your life, focusing on solutions, continuously learning and growing, maintaining a positive attitude, surrounding yourself with the right people, taking massive action, being patient and persistent, taking care of your health, setting clear goals, embracing change, practicing forgiveness, and maintaining faith and hope. It's not easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it, but that's what sets you apart. That's what makes you extraordinary. You're here, aren't you? You're listening, you're learning, you're growing. That already puts you ahead of 95% of the population. You see, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. It's about finding joy in the journey, not just the destination. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever life throws at you and come out stronger on the other side. I want you to make me a promise right now. Promise yourself that you won't let your difficulties define you. Promise that you'll use them as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Promise that you'll keep moving forward, no matter how slow or how small the steps might be. Because here's the truth, you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you know. And you have everything you need right now to start turning your life around. Let me tell you something powerful. Your difficult times are shaping you into the person you're meant to become. They're forging your character, owning your skills, and preparing you for even greater opportunities ahead. Every challenge you overcome, every obstacle you push through is another step towards your ultimate success. Now, I want you to imagine yourself a year from now, looking back on this moment. What will you see? Will you see someone who gave up when things got tough? Or will you see someone who persevered, who grew, who transformed their difficulties into triumphs? The choice is yours, and you're making it right now with every decision, every action, every thought. You see, life is a lot like farming. You reap what you sow. If you plant excuses, blame, and negativity, that's exactly what you'll harvest. But if you plant responsibility, action, and positivity, you'll reap a harvest beyond your wildest dreams. So I ask you, what are you planting today? What seeds are you sowing for your future? Remember this, the difficult times you're facing right now are not your final destination. They're just a detour on your journey to greatness. And like any detour, they might slow you down, they might frustrate you, but they can't stop you unless you let them. Keep moving forward, keep pushing, keep growing. The road ahead might be tough, but I promise you it leads to somewhere amazing. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought. You are the author of your own life story. Every difficulty, every challenge, every setback is just another chapter in your epic tale. And the beautiful thing about being the author is that you get to decide how the story ends. Will it be a tragedy of unfulfilled potential and missed opportunities? Or will it be a triumph of the human spirit, a testament to the power of perseverance and determination? The choice is yours, and I believe in you. I believe that you have the strength, the courage, and the resilience to turn your difficulties into your greatest achievements. So, go out there and write your story. Make it a masterpiece. Because you, my friend, you are capable of greatness, and your time is now. Thank you.